gotten transferred over just yet. 1 sec. Okay.
I honestly thought you disappeared for a second. I was like, oh shit, did I not make it clear we were doing something?
No, I just... Nicole said something to me while... After the phone call finished, she was telling me what... She had been on a phone call with her friend when you had called, and I had been listening, so she basically was filling me in on the rest of that in some way.
Well,
So,
I'm going to show you the best game I've had with this version of Twin Suns.
let's see. Where did I...
First and foremost. And let me get to the part where all the board is set up. There.
Alright. Oh.
Let's make sure I'm sharing screens on Discord as well. I would actually prefer, like, probably best bet is actually if you watch me on Twitch. You'll see the game with a slight delay that way, but it'll be less intensive on my bandwidth. So let me link you there, unless you do want to swap to Discord. Yeah, just do Discord.
Okay, I am at Discord. You said VIP only?
Yes. If you want to pump my viewership a little bit.
Pump your viewership on... Oh, you sent me something, okay. Yep, VIP Plus.
Welcome.
Ooh, that sounded nice.
Something. Let me make sure your volume's up.
Well, your reverb effect.
Alright, so this right here is...
You say this right here. Should I go to the stream or something?
Discord. I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, so let me make sure that I'm... Nope, wrong button. I need to actually go to the channel because I'm currently in the announcements channel. Okay, so... Doink. Watch stream. There we go. Okay, cool.
Alright.
Did you like how I changed my name? I saw Joseph had effectively nicknamed himself, and I was basically the only one left without a nickname, so it was like, you know what?
Yes.
I'll do.
Yes, I am perfectly okay with that. In fact, it has turned into a running joke that Liam needs to start calling himself the Pharaoh. But this right here is the first move that was discovered a little while ago. Basically, you're just trying to X-ray the king and open it up as fast as possible. Because the thing with this matchup, Twin Suns actually starts with a slight material disadvantage. And it's significant enough that if you grind it out slowly and go to endgame, Black is going to win here. Medieval is going to win. But what White does have is a tempo advantage, because...
That's generally been Medieval's advantage is just, I can punch longer.
Yes.
I have more.
Medieval has the longevity, and then with the pawns, basically...
It is the army of human knights desperately trying to fight its way past humongous monsters.
Yeah.
Through sheer force of bodies and will.
Meanwhile, Twin Suns has jumping pieces and lots of ways to increase tempo and speed and get into the fight quickly. So, Black opens on the side. I just immediately launch in, no hesitation. Bishop, I set up for the reload. I want to fire my cannon again. Black pushes a pawn.
Hold up, why do you not use queen to target king?
That was Scorpion's choice. The thing with that is I just move my flare in the way just fine. And
okay.
But it is better, I agree. The point is whatever you put in front of the king may get completely fucked up by what's coming.
Okay.
Which is this.
Alright, they got another Ember in the way without moving the king. How do the Ember remind Ember movement?
Okay, so embers move diagonally and capture on the forward orthogonal.
Yep.
While on the battlefield,
Okay,
they can also
so-
move backward one diagonal.
So you have 2 spots, 2 more things that can easily load.
Yes, in 2 turns. So I do the load, I fire again, queen with check, king moves over, which means I was then targeting the knight. Knight moves in with check. I trade off Hearth for knight because it was a fork and move lilac forward with the knight movement. Thus,
Okay, lilac seems to move twice without any black piece moving.
it was a knight jump.
Okay. Okay.
Black castles, and I rotate the flare in, targeting the queen. Queen moves there with check. Lilac moves forward, offering the trade. Trade is taken. Pawn capture, Aurora capture. Knight forward, king move over, setting up another launch. Fired again immediately. Flare moves in, check. King forward, Aurora protects the flare. Bishop moves in, Aurora moves here. Bishop, can't move back. Bishop is stuck, unable to retarget like it wants to get me off of the all-important square I need for this orbit. Rook moves over, king moves forward, bishop moves to try to retarget, and now the orbit happens.
Okay, so if bishop takes, then you win.
If bishop takes, black would win, yes, but the flare is now targeting the king of check.
No. I was meaning if bishop takes, flare kills black's king, so white wins.
Yes.
Who
So-
is white?
I am white,
Okay.
and
Yes.
Scorpion, Orzion, which usually beats me, is black. He's a very good player. Aurora here, check. The flares are targeting each other. King moves here, and this flare moves backward with checkmate. Boom.
Okay, someone else is on.
Hey, Fables. Fables is the reason why we're so close on the AI, by the way.
Thank you. I'm a little out of date on things. Have I met you before?
Wait a sec. Oh, yeah, this was mate, because Aurora also targets this square. So, yeah. That was that absolute blitz. What did you think?
So, was that with time constraints?
No, not really, but it was still a really quick game.
Okay.
That game resolved itself in 23 moves.
Oh, okay.
In 23 moves, White achieved checkmate that game.
And then was that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or was that just...
That was all set up.
raising-
Five moves of setup, basically.
Oh, okay.
Lilac moves over. Force the trade. Because as long as this rook and this rook are not completely in the game, White is still even and still has the tempo advantage. Black has to undo that. Flare
And
moves
actually
in,
bring
check.
the forces to bear.
Aurora moves in. The thing with the happens. The rook moves over, too late. King forward, bishop, flare. And basically, way back here, I could have done this immediately. I had mate a lot sooner. I should have just done it immediately, not let the rook develop, and not even risk this type of thing going on, right? But I wasn't... Basically, every move that happened in between was how long it took me to notice that I had a massive attack coming. Because black can't retreat, black can't capture,
Why
Oh.
can't black retreat?
because this flare targets all three of these squares. So the only legal move is for black's king to move where it did. Then Aurora moves in with check. Again, the number of legal moves is very, very low. Like, this
Yeah.
and this are both targeted by separate flares. Aurora targets this square, and it's check. So there is only one move. White moves, again, with its only legal, and then it's checkmate. So I had forced mate in 3 right here. After black targeted Aurora, if I orbit the flare in immediately. Yeah. That's what Twin Suns does nowadays. And supposedly, at least from what we've tested, that makes them a little bit stronger than Medieval, but we need another few rounds of human testing to see if there's any other obvious problems before we turn it. Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's very sacrificial, very aggressive, very fast. And once we finish that last round of human tests, we turn it over to the computer.
We had at the beginning of Twin Suns, but not with much less sacrifice effect. Still very fast, very aggressive.
Yeah, it feels this like it's still the same army in feeling, in gameplay, in idea. The same core concept. It's just executed with more finesse and actual chess play.
I also love that we're keeping party mode.
Oh, yeah.
It's told to launch something from across 30 squares of board at some point.
Party mode is great. Now, I have another game I want to show you, because I specifically want to show you the new opening theory that Fairy Stockfish showed me in the Palace versus Medieval match. So let me open a new board.
Yeah? Is that a search engine that emanates trees?
Yep, it's a search engine that grows trees.
Nice.
What's with the no sad face, Fables? I don't understand.
Oh, is there a...
Fables doesn't have a mic, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Do. Yeah, he's... They are typing in general. Where is it? I can't read my... There we go. Let's see if I can scroll up and find the game in question. Oh, no, I pasted it myself at some point. Maybe it's in scores. It probably is. Scores and replays.
The arc? Nice.
Hey, I remember pasting the game... Oh, did I put it in general? I did. There it is.
Arc Knight is scary.
Arc Knight? What are you talking about?
True Titan's suggestion of Arc Knight based on CU's Archbishop and Fortress.
Yep.
Can capture it, move at. I'm in general right now because I was trying to look at Fable's thing.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of broke.
Yeah.
Okay. So, here's the board setup. It's completely minimal. We don't have any like extra spacing. Knight, and then here's the line. I'm just going to show it to you. Horse forward, and then any sort of normal opening from black. Horse forward, and on next turn, cannon will be able to target. Knight jumps in the way.
Okay, so we had 2 turns of loading cannon, so cannon was not doing anything initially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in those 2 turns though, cannot Medieval move Brookside Pawn forward 2, left 1. And then Rook. So.
Okay, so you're talking about this first move.
Yes. And then that, assuming we still have the knight doing the same thing, pawn to the left or right, whichever one. Okay, knight's now down there and cannon's live. Okay, knight moves to protect. Okay,
Not just to protect, it's also targeting the pawn, and the cannon is now targeting the...
Cannon requires an
knight.
intervening piece in order to capture. So if Rook just kills knight, then... Or
Both soldiers are targeting the horse.
Soldiers are targeting horse? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Cool.
And that's the trap. Basically, you get to uptrade, because horse is objectively weaker than knight, and you double the pawns on the side. This is like the worst pawn doubling you can end up with.
Okay, so other scenario. The one I said where you move the pawn initially, you free up the more rook, but then he puts knight into the way. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Right here. Yeah?
Okay, so in this scenario, cannon is still targeting rook.
Yes.
So if there is a piece in the way, is cannon no longer targeting rook but that piece?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you intervene the knight, then you get a free pawn from that opening. And then the knight's in danger again and has to move out of the way again, or the knight has to move somewhere, probably like here, to try to regain material. So rather than this move, this move. Because now this is being targeted, this is being targeted, this is being targeted. But you do this, and all of a sudden this is being targeted again. And there's just this constant back and forth between the cannon and the rook to gain enough tempo and do multiple things. And then it's either going to be knight back in the way or rook over. Probably rook over. Which it feels terrible to move the rook off this open file. And then all black has to do is find a way to...
So, I know this is a more complex line. Knight attacks...
Well, it's black's turn now, because white had to move.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have the turn for that.
So, cannon forward works to protect this, or just like, I don't know, soldier over to protect it.
Okay.
Jeez. But yeah, basically that line that you played out, black wins a pawn.
And then you're positioning. You still have your knight, so in a long-term thing, is it better? It would require someone to really check.
This opening is so cute. Look at how adorable White's army is now.
Oh, it's just smaller white.
Yeah. The knight left home. This pawn just died somehow, and the rook moved over. Yeah, white is definitely down development a little bit here, and down a pawn. I personally, would you like to see what I was suggesting to deal with this? Because there is a good answer.
The pawn one over to move forward to?
No, just... Okay, so you do what you normally would in order to prevent, losing the game, so...
losing the game, so pawn to center.
Pawn forward one. Horse moves, and then of course you just block it. Yeah, block the horse from even getting into the middle. Black has one more turn before they can capture, so they're going to do something. Oh, you get screwed over in that one, because now both... Oh, the cannon can't move yet. Cannon can't move yet, my bad.
Oh, cannon can't even move, let alone attack. Okay.
Yeah. So... Probably this. And now white has to move the horse in the way, and everything's fine.
So, a quick little question on left side cannon. Is it targeting just that pawn, or is it targeting either the pawn or the knight?
Okay. So, it is targeting just this pawn, and this cannon is targeting just this pawn.
Okay, it must have a piece and only one piece intervening to target
yes.
a piece. Okay.
And the cannons are protecting each other because of the horse.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely an annoying thing to deal with.
It is annoying, but it is something that you're very capable of. Palace and Twin Suns, because they're what we've done all the human tests with so far. We haven't finished Twin Suns, so we haven't moved up to Shogun's balance testing yet. Because that one's next, doing some human balance tests with Shoguns to get a good feel for what we're doing.
Ooh, what happens if you move your queen to directly in front of right side cannon.
Here?
Because soldiers attack orthogonally. Yep.
Yeah. So you could A, just move this in the way, and then it gets double targeted by both the cannon and the soldier while developing your rook. Right?
Yep.
Or
Yep.
B, you don't actually have to do all that much other than protect this soldier. Because, again, the cannons right now protect each other.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
But yeah,
The-
that's...
The two cannons together is very interesting.
Yeah,
I am
and...
tempted to think that they are just on their own better than the dragon on its own.
No. The cannons alone, because they don't capture both pieces, they only target the one, get gradually weaker and weaker throughout the game. And usually we rate them at about the same as a bishop or a knight. They're a minor.
Okay.
Yes, they harass really well at the earliest turns of the game, but that's because those are the turns with the most pieces and the least development. With more development and fewer pieces, cannons get weaker.
Okay. What do you determine the dragon was worth points-wise?
It's about a queen. I would put it about 8.
Okay.
A little bit weaker than a queen.
Sounds about right.
Which, for the record, most AI actually put the queen even higher than humans used to. So it's about 10, really? Depending.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Rather than the 9 that I was remembering?
Yeah. 9.5 is usually a really good bet.
Okay.
Which, I know bishops and knights really well. So a knight is worth 315 if a pawn is worth 100. A bishop is worth 325 and has a bishop pair bonus of 50. Half a pawn of extra bonus for just having the bishop pair. So both bishops on the board.
Yeah, because they work better together.
Yeah. Because against one bishop, you can defend against it by going on to the opposite color, but against both, doing so when one bishop attacks you actually leaves you more vulnerable to the other one. Okay. So, that is all I wanted to show you. The beauty of this game is this game was actually played by Fairy Stockfish.
Okay. Moving a little fast.
Oh. I wasn't planning on actually going through another breakdown of this game because I did that the other day. But,
Oh, okay. If you weren't planning to, just showing me the ending, that's fine too. I wanted to make sure you knew in case you were. Ooh, elephant's doing something. Elephant's dead.
yeah, elephant traded for bishop.
Cannons launched. Jeez, this is a slaughter.
Yes, both sides lost a lot of pieces in that set of exchanges.
When cannon jumped left, what did cannon kill?
Cannon didn't kill anything. Cannon jumped over the knight in
Okay.
order... Yeah.
So you said Fairy Stockfish played this, but didn't we still have the problem of the castling, or did you not implement that?
Not all of it's implemented. In fact, not all of the rules... We discovered some rules that Fairy Stockfish didn't know yet.
We discovered them. That's a nice way of putting it. Not decided upon, discovered. This is how the game is played.
We
Not simply learning how it is played.
we found what Fairy Stockfish thought the game rules were that were not accurate.
Okay.
I think the main one was the king movement was wrong. Yeah.
This looks like medieval can win this if Queen can track down that. There it went. Yep, they win.
Now three queens.
It won't change the
No,
the.
not from the direct port. But yeah, these two pawns are both queens, and this is checkmate.
Fairy Stockfish is open source, right?
Yep.
Nice.
And not only is it open source, but its code is heavily notated. And Fables has been digging in and out of it and learning a lot of stuff. Gluttony solved the pawn movement problem, but Fables basically solved all of the other issues from Phase 1 on his own.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked that game. Oh, whoops.
Nice. So from that, not all of the rules are implemented, so it's kind of hard to say stuff.
Ooh, even right now, all we'd be testing without is castling. We could still use normal castling rules, and it wouldn't be that far. But
yeah, but you said there were other rules you hadn't implemented yet. Was there anything on the side
at that
of
time,
Palace?
none anymore. No, because we fixed the only two, which is our special version of the king that can teleport anywhere in the palace, and the cannon loading rule are the only two things that weren't supported by Fairy Stockfish directly. Those had to be implemented, and they were. The cannon cannot load while a certain move count threshold has not been reached. And we essentially set the palace's movement to be king plus flare, and then it just can't leave the palace. So the Dragon Titan has it coded in to be able to move as both a king and a flare, which is a piece that is worth about 12, almost the same as an Amazon, for the record.
Okay.
Damn. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually shown you all the things I wanted to. You want to jump into a Twin Suns game? Or you want to go?
Considering I'd have to go to bed in an hour and a half at the latest, then that would be a no. As far as that, you can definitely try and read a couple things.
Enjoy. Go ahead and get yourself up to speed. I am actually taking my day off from being tied to my computer tomorrow to try to work on my car. And then Tuesday, my dumbass is starting I Can't End Stream Until I Beat Jump King.
What is Jump King? And is this I Can't End Stream thing entirely of your own thinking, or was
Yes.
this
Oh no, he's gone. Fables, he died. Fables! Okay.
Sorry, one sec. I clicked the voice chat when I wanted to look at the regular chat to just read things. Okay, was this can't in stream thing entirely of your own?
It is entirely a publicity stunt, and doing it repeatedly, because I grew in a week in what usually takes a Twitch streamer a month by doing that. So if I do it again, I will continue to grow.
You said an average of 3 watchers gets you what now?
Twitch affiliate, which is the next step, which means I can officially start monetizing my Twitch and getting donations and subscriptions.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, so I think I will be able to achieve that by the end of Can't End Stream until I beat Jump King. And notice how it says Can't End Stream, which means two things. One, I'm actually going to do Can't Stop Streaming until I beat Jump King, so I can, be offline when I'm asleep. I think I should do that because no one really wants to watch me sleep, and that will help my average viewership. And I can stream other things. For example, Titan's Battalion, still. I just have to keep streaming until I beat Jump King.
Okay, what is Jump King again, you said?
A very hard game where you have to jump your character up a little... essentially a vertical version of a side-scroller. So a vertical scroller where you're jumping upward, and you can fall to your death really easily, and it's considered on the same, it's the same genre game as Getting Over It, essentially. And it's really big on Twitch right now. It's also really big on Twitch.
Okay.
The call tag, the call sign for the game is there's Jump King, subtext, there's a smoking hot babe at the top. It's a cute game. The art is really nice, but... Jeez.
Okay.
Well, if you don't want to play a game right now...
So earlier I asked you short-term stuff, longer-term. Is there anything you need from me? I am going to be trying to start tuition assistance. Actually, preferably today, once we're done with this, I'll put in the remaining application stuff I need to do.
Longer term? I can't think of anything right now, but I definitely needed to talk to you about something. If it occurs to me, I'll shoot you a text.
Is book publication stuff proceeding as anticipated, or still?
I had put everything on hold to focus on the AI because we cannot release the game until it's balanced.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm still tracking from last time.
Mm-hmm. Which
eight Twin Suns games.
That's 8 days over the course of a month, and we're not spending all of those 8 days. I know with you and I, we're going to get really deep into the weeds when we start doing balance testing.
Oh yeah, I tend to do that.
Yeah, so... But even a balance test game with Twin Suns for Liam and I or Joseph and I would often take a good 2 hours most of the time because we're sitting there backtracking, considering all the moves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good night, Nathan.
Yep, I'll try and catch up with the Discord stuff and try and get dealt with D&D.
Yes.
We were just basically trying to figure out everybody's schedule again,
yep.
And you just needed a bit of a refresher from when you had determined, making sure that everything was ready to actually continue.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
My little bit of a refresher, if I can get all 4 of you, it is very notable that, that group of 4 people is currently with the Royal Guard, and I already know what y'all are going to be doing and all that, and it shouldn't be too big a deal.
Because we left at Assassins attacked us, basically. We defeated them. One of the players kind of went a little overboard, in a way.
Yeah, and that's what I need to be refreshed about. What did you guys do that caused the problem? I need to know what you guys did that caused the problem and the commotion.
How we caused the problem and commotion? Well, for one thing, the dragon had turned into actually the dragon. when pinning one of the guys down. And we, other than just a general fight breaking out, drawing the attention of the guards, are you asking why the assassins were after us? Because I'm pretty sure that was still the reoccurring.
Yeah, that was that. I was just asking what you guys had done to land yourselves in jail, basically.
To check if I remembered?
No.
Or and you?
Just slight reminding myself because I'm going through the events in my head.
It was mostly the guards were. The guard captain was basically like, I'm gonna need your statements, effectively.
Yeah.
It's like, because rather than just be, they attacked us, moving on, it was, okay, we have to do this officially.
Yes.
But we're probably still going to come to they attacked us, we defended ourselves and won.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. That checks with my memory of everything.
Also, Addison's character had some relation to the guard captain in some way?
Different guard captain. Town guard and royal guard are different. Town guard is like combination of police force and army, and royal guard is like the FBI is here.
Okay. Which one was this? Royal guard or town guard?
Royal guard. You were dealing with the town guard up to this point. Then the royal guard showed up and took over.
Okay. Probably because of the dragon.
Probably because of the dragon.
Which should be explained. He is gold. After all, he can himself talk fairly well. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue of being a bit more public knowledge of our dragon friend.
Mm-hmm. He has no issue of being public most of the time, so much as, like, dragons don't like to hide.
Mm-hmm.
He's just...
I am a being that should not need this.
He is above this, to say the least.
Where were we currently at, bigger story-wise? So, I know we were in a bit of a lull.
You guys were in a lull right up to this, and this is when all the action kicked off. Because you guys were sitting here in town digging, looking, following leads, seeing what you can find, until you found, you're basically looking for the Dime Wera hideout.
Okay.
And you looked at, you were supposed to just be scouting out a couple of locations, and things went really poorly at both locations with the split party. And in one location, they were chased down deeper into the sewers, straight into the Undercity, collapsing their way back and having to find their way through, and that's the other half of the party that isn't you. And you guys had been ambushed at the other spot, had to escape despite the fact that your party had the dragon, get the hell out of there, on the dragon's back, get back to your place, and get ambushed yet again before you got to this point. So you've already been ambushed twice tonight.
And that first one, the one where we escaped on the dragon, I had been not present for that one, correct?
Yeah, that was a very intense fight. I will say that right now. And shit.
I'm definitely starved for D&D.
It was interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. Side note, I am playing in Sean's Starfinder campaign right now as well.
Ooh, when has he been doing that?
We did our session 0 last week and our session 1 today.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's not really Starfinder. We're using Starfinder as the base system for a steampunk Wild West world.
Okay, interesting.
It gets more interesting the more I tell you about the world.
Should I? Darn it! Should I ask to if I can join?
No, he's already running 2 campaigns in the same world simultaneously that affect each other.
Okay, yeah, definitely not.
And we have 4 players, one of which is actually Joseph. Joseph's playing in this one.
What's he playing as?
He's an operative. I'm a soldier. Yeah, this is a non-magic world, so there's only 4 classes to play, and we have 4 players.
Sounds about right. I assume you guys didn't double up and leave one hanging.
Mm-mm. But it was funny because all of us wanted to play the exact character we picked, so we just happened to cover all 4 instead of having to like debate about who gets to play what.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, resource stuff.
Yeah, Gilbert's in that campaign as well.
Okay.
If you remember who Gilbert is.
I know a Gilbert from the Ford.
I don't know what boat he's on. I do know he's in the fleet, though.
Is he an ET?
Yeah?
Then he's very possibly a Gilbert I know. Can he do multiple different accents?
Is it the Gilbert where everyone thinks he's a mass murderer but no one can prove anything?
Who else in this call?
It's just me and you. And Twitch chat.
Okay, cool.
I'm live.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that Fables wasn't still listening. So he has definitely made a comment to me that I at that time took mostly as a joke. He doesn't. He said he was essentially a psychopath. He doesn't feel emotion, so he just chooses to portray
That sounds like Gilbert, yeah.
happiness and such because it puts people most at ease. And I'm like, huh, interesting. Because I, to a lesser extent, had, for a long time, that was part of my default mode was being happy and nice because emotions were confusing to me. So this was the best one for interacting with people.
Yeah, but now you know that, info dumping and, passion sharing is, a really good form of communication.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So, yes, I think we might, in fact, be talking about the same person.
Probably. Blonde dude.
I
Came...
he's chubby.
He's a little chubby. Came through same class as me.
He what?
Came through the pipeline same class as me. Which would make him about E4, E5 right now, just like you. Probably E5.
Sounds about right. Actually, I think yeah, because he got on board not too terribly long ago, which you were about 6 months behind me yourself.
Mm-hmm. If so, then that guy's playing in a D&D campaign with your little brother.
Nice! Because I hadn't been able to join his campaign while he was doing one on the boat because of being qualified versus not qualified schedules differences.
Mm-hmm.
But he definitely seemed to be one I wanted to either have as a DM or have as a player.
Yeah, he worships Steam. His character is a Steam fanatic. I would go so far as to call him a cultist, but we sat there and actually broke it down, and it's really more of a religion than a cult, but he gives me the kind of the cultist vibe.
Okay.
Now we're going to wrap it up, right? Because we spent another 20 minutes.
Were we long rested from the...
No. No, you were absolutely not.
Yeah, so basically... Okay, so...
And that is important. You are two major fights deep into this day, and you're currently being escorted to the an offshoot of the palace by the Royal Guard in Dime.
So this would be Boomkin Whitland, level 5. Let me view him.
You might have been able to get some rest, like actually get a long rest between the combats. I'm not sure if I remember that.
I think you did, because my hit point total is maximum right now.
Yeah,
and I have used a 3rd level spell slot, which I think I did Flaming Sphere myself, because I know that there was burning.
Yes, you did Flaming Sphere, and you plugged the hole.
And Addison did Blades.
Yeah, you guys absolutely wrecked this inn. I remember...
Well, we wrecked that window, and I definitely was like, yeah, we're gonna have to pay for the fire damage of that window.
Mm-hmm.
Because one person got in, and all the others were peeking in around the edge of the window, and I'm like, oh, around this window that is probably less than 5 feet, we just stick a flaming sphere right there in all of their heads.
Yep, that was a thing that happened.
And they were all like, ah! And then Addison was also like, and flying daggers, spinning daggers too, in that area. And they were like, ah, even more. And then we basically either canceled it or I moved it, and then jumped out and fought them all after they...
Yep, lots of full caster and AoE shenanigans.
Yep. It's like, ooh, my enemies are all clustered together into one convenient spot. I'm a full caster. Yes!
Meanwhile, down below, they have a monk, a barbarian, and a bloodweaver. Which technically Bloodweaver is a full caster, but they're very finicky and don't have a lot of AoE. All of their AoE they do have would be acid damage, I believe. Yeah.
And I assume by this point Joseph has gotten better at his monk. Because when we first started, he was first starting D&D, but at this point he's all but a seasoned player because of how me and Joseph approach things.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of figured it would take Joseph long because he did the same thing that I did of, let me just research every darn rule I have any questions about so I know this stuff by heart.
Yes. As well as... I am looking forward to seeing y'all play TB as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to play with Joseph more as well because Joseph is... I simply have a small flair for the drama. Joseph is a full-on actor. So he will do stuff like, yeah, just because I can, I want to jump down this hole and take fall damage and reduce it with my monk ability. Whereas I'm like, I'm going to win. I'm going to play cautiously and carefully. So I enjoy seeing Joseph's in-character shenanigans that don't wreck playthroughs like some player shenanigans I've seen.
Yeah. Rebecca's pretty bad about the murder hobo.
I wasn't even meaning Rebecca too much because she stayed sufficiently
level-headed.
in control.
Yeah.
I was more referring to players that aren't currently even playing this campaign.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Though Rebecca is definitely one that's like, yeah, you fit barbarian. It's a good thing you got all that health to handle the consequences.
I think that's the intention.
And then when she actually manages to pull off some stuff, I'm like, you did that how?
Like,
you managed to seduce the orc ambassador of the the Battle Rangers or what?
Yes. She not only seduced, but has married the Orc Ambassador of the Battle Raiders.
Yes, like, hold up. Okay. This is an interesting development.
What's
You
the
have
odd
been with you
thumbnail
for
cry?
How many days? And you're married? Yeah, that was definitely pretty cool.
Yeah, she's
And
actually gone for
the-
like 2 weeks. Let me go to my channel. I'm worried there might be a weird thumbnail somewhere. And what that means. No echo, please. Okay. Back scratcher?
You had asked early on about code or something.
I am not having an issue with Co anymore. We
Okay.
managed to figure that out on our own.
So are we still in standard code?
Yeah, we're still using code just like before. Nothing has changed.
Okay.
It just our understanding of the rule has increased.
I'm honestly fine with that, because of not just Haunted and other pieces like that, but how it does limit and frame some strategies.
Oh no.
What are you looking at now?
Oh no. I tagged you in the thing.
Okay.
That is. Hold on. Just. Well, hold on.
Okay, so Fables went to sleep.
That's hilarious. Okay. That's just gonna stay there. Well, honestly, Cry, I'm about to wrap up my stream for now, until I'm doing anything else. So. Okay. Good night, y'all. I will be back. It's Sunday? I'll be back Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay. And I'll be doing Jump. I will be repeating my challenge with Jump King and suffering again. But it'll be great.
Frigon.
Yeah?
With simply scheduling D&D, I kind of wish I contacted you guys like yesterday or Friday afternoon, because I had both days of the weekend this time.
Mm-hmm.
I am on a weird schedule. I'll try and get you a copy of it sent, because it's really the only way to properly explain it. Where I essentially am on 3 section duties, but a duty day is only half of a day shift. And then for like 3 weeks, and then there's a week and a half of nights, and then like 4 days off before I go back into that thing again.
Okay. That does sound weird.
Yeah. I'll send.
Are we talking like a rotating 3-section duty, or just 3-section duty, where you're in a section and that section shows up at this time?
I'll send you the stuff. Basically, what I'm trying to say. Next weekend, I will be on nights.
Okay.
Which means I will have duty every day for a week. Yeah, I will, quote unquote, have duty every day for a week and a half, which will go through Saturday and Sunday. That would be, I would have to go to work at 18, and I would get off of work at 7 in the morning. I can possibly
Jesus.
sleep at work.
That's still 13 hours, dude.
Yeah. I can possibly sleep at work. It's essentially that I have a quote-unquote normal work day, except it's on night.
I gotcha.
It's really weird.
Well,
So-
see y'all.
Next Saturday and Sunday, I will essentially not be available because